It might be that you need to really feel the earth against your body. And just as if you were planting something in soil, just finding the right balance and the right support for yourself. And then once you find that connection, that rootedness, perhaps the breath could feel as though you're watering or you're nourishing what has been planted. And just ensuring that this nourishment is as healthy as it possibly can be. Working into healthy breathing. Inviting a smoothness to the breath, an evenness, a balance between the inhales and exhales. Working to have the inhales meet the exhales, meet the inhales. Keeping the breath quiet and rhythmic. And perhaps as you come into this breath, you find that the grip that you feel in the body or in the emotional body just starts to unwind itself. Start to relax places that hold tension in the body. And the breath is a beautiful focal point away from troubles, from things to do. And so I invite you to use as your intention today, staying this rooted in the practice so that you can nourish yourself with this practice. Of course, if there was some other intention that brought you out to the mat today, please feel free to use that. But whatever intention you've set, let's hold it in at heart center, either hand on top of heart, or an Anjali Mudra prayer pose at the heart. And let's open up our practice with one full deep inhale through the nostrils. And then exhale through the nostrils. Begin to rub your palms together, create some heat. And when they're nice and warm, let's press back if you're in your child's pose or in your alligator pose. Press back to a seated position. For those of us on the floor, go ahead and cover the eyes, roll over. We're all going to come into a seat to begin with today. So just take a moment wherever you've kind of come up and open your eyes underneath your palms. And when you feel ready, let your eyes open. I'd suggest the lip of a blanket here for your sit bones. And once again, let's just work on feeling rooted here. So really feeling balance in the sit bones. Feeling as though the hips are a little bit above the knees, just so we can be here for a little bit. So if you find your knees way raised, go ahead and sit on something a little bit taller. And then on inhale, conscious movement, hands up, and then hands down to heart center. And it might feel better just to allow the eyes to close, just so you can start to sync up your body movements with your breath. Keeping that breath a healthy breath, smooth, continuous, quiet, even, balanced breath. And the next time you come up, let's stay up and then just consciously drop the shoulder blades down the back. And then let's take a side stretch over to the right. And once you're down, allow gravity to have her way with you. Feel as though you feel that pressure against your upper part of your back. Long, long, long left side body. And both sit bones still very balanced into the earth. On your next inhale, up to the center and over to the other side. Let yourself root. Feel the breath coming and going from the belly. Next inhale, let's come up to center. We're going to take a twist to the right, but let's not use our hands to crank. Let's keep it really light in the fingers. One hand back behind you, one hand on the knee, and then on inhale, feel the belly engaging with the breath. Exhale, feel the belly button moving towards the spine, and feel the twist coming from this action of the body. And then we'll spin around and take that shape on the other side. Again, settle in. And then back around to the center. Let's just fold ourselves over our folded legs. Let head and neck hang heavy. Breathe deeply into the back body. And then all the way back up, hands back behind you. Press into the hands. Another root here in the body. And then open up into the heart. Each inhale lifts up into the sternum. Each exhale, just this sense of foundation from the strength in your belly. And now let's begin a really big circle, round and round. You can use your hands to kind of hold you in the back. Finding that logic with the breath. And then let's take it in the opposite direction. And then once more back to the center. Let's go ahead and come off of the mat now. Off of the blanket. Push it behind you, and let's find our feet right smack down in front of us. The whole foot on the earth. So for lots of us with really tight hip flexors, just sitting up tall in the spine, in our neutral spine, gives us enough of a challenge in the hip flexor. But let's do that anyway, just so we can feel kind of plugged in. And we can feel as though we're making an effort to sit up. Now, engage through the belly and lean back. Feel the energy in the inner thighs, the lower belly. Knit your lower ribs back into the body. Now you can keep your hands to the sides of your knees, palm face up, or you can even hold on to your knees. But wherever you are, let's look for effortlessness. So there's a sense that we're not holding our body up with our shoulders. Shoulder blades are down the back, heart is lifted, belly is engaged. See if you can continue to breathe. Feel the action of the breath in the belly. On your next exhale, give yourself a big hug. So round through the back. Maybe a side to side rocking. And then let's sort of pump up a little bit more. I want you to listen carefully for how you feel this afternoon. So let's rock ourselves back. You can be right here. If you'd like to try a little bit more challenge and raising the heat, let's raise both of our feet and start to pedal. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Round through the spine again. Let's come into table posture. So pat your knees if you need to. And once you're in table, let's begin with cat-cows. So on your inhale, stretch through the belly, open up the heart, tailbone up to the sky, exhaling round through the spine. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, let everything sink. Exhale, pull everything taut. 2 more times on your own breath. And then back to neutral spine. Let's open up the knees and the hands just a little bit more than they are right now. And we're going to do our cat-cow, but we're going to do it side to side rocking. We'll start with an exhale, and then on inhale, come over to the right side of your mat, work to the left, exhale, round. I kind of call this a washing machine when I try it on my own in my own practice. I just feel like a big washing machine. I'm really getting a lot more movement in the spine. And then the next time you come up, let's work to the left. Of course, there's no right way or wrong way to do this. There's just the experience that you feel. And then we'll come back to neutral spine. So bringing your hands back underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Send your right foot back behind you and place the ball of the foot down onto the mat. And then let's work here just with a gentle opening in the Achilles, in the calf. For those of us who are runners or bikers, we can kind of feel the weekend warrior stuff here. So just take it easy. Use your breath to unlock and nourish those tight places. And then raising your leg up, a hip height. Let's bend into the knee and on exhale, round through the spine, knee to nose. Inhale, stomp the ceiling with your foot. On your own breath now, exhaling round, inhaling stomp. 2 more times now. And once you've stopped, let's find our long leg out back behind. And let's do a little bit of balance work here. Raise your left hand. Next, exhale. Bring the hand down to the mat. Feel free to keep your leg elevated as you take modified side plank, or drop it to the earth. Find your modified side plank, right hand lifted. Again, work with the sense of rootedness. On your next exhale, everything down to the mat. Before we bring the leg down, though, let's bend it one more time and take some big circles, knee to elbow on the right side. And now everything down. Couple of cat-cows on your own breath. So just release the belly, release any kind of gripping. Exhale, feel the strength of the belly. 2 more times. And then back to neutral spine. Send your left foot back behind you. And once again, let's just open up into the calf. And then raise it, hip height, bend into the knee. Exhale, round. Inhale, stop. 3 more times. Now, send that leg out in back of you. Right hand out in front. Let's just balance. And now hand down to the mat. Find your modified side plank on this side. Remember, you can always drop your foot to the mat. And now hand comes down to the mat. Bend into your left knee. And let's take some really big circles towards your left elbow. 1 more. And then back to your neutral spine. Let's raise the right hand up behind you, up to the ceiling. And then we're just going to flow. We're not going to settle into a sort of a thread the needle pose. We're just going to, each exhale, we feel as though we're almost coming down. And then inhale, that hand comes back up and through. Let's do it 1 more time. Inhaling up and exhale through. Now we'll settle down. And then find a place where you can find a little bit more movement in the belly. We just want to feel that breath flowing. One more time. And then pressing into your left hand, raise back up to table. Let's give it 1 cat-cow just to keep that suppleness of the trunk of our body. And then back to neutral spine. We'll try 4 flows on the left side. So reaching up Exhaling down and hover. Inhale up and bring it through and hover. And hover down. And this time we're coming up and then we'll bring it through, hover it down and settle down. So root yourself in this pose. I kind of like to think of the back of my left hand as being rooted here, settled. Alrighty, press into your right hand and come back to your table. Cross your ankles and let's sit our bum right back at the back of the mat. Bring your feet in front of you one more time. And let's bring our knees over to the left. So we're kind of in this star shape. I can't think of a better way to say it. And then we're going to just turn around and look at the back of the mat. Now, the longer you are in your torso, the more you're going to get into the twist here. So once again, we really want the belly to be finding that bellows, right? Like literally nurturing the fire in our belly with the breath. Give it one more. And then let's come back around and take that on the other side. So now knees to the right side of your mat. And again, get long. And let's move our way back to the middle. This time, feel free to be here in your boat, or if you'd like to kind of take this sort of little trip side to side. See if you can kind of use the belly to bring your feet up. I always find that I'm kind of walking on my sit bones. As you can see, I'm kind of moving to the front of my mat, side to side. I want to get to the front of my mat. This is a very inefficient way to do it. All right, let's go ahead and come up into a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Any kind of movement that you need to do before you get there, feel free to do that. And again, once you get in your forward fold, I always need a big old bend into my knees, that first forward fold of the day. Just allow head and neck to rest heavy. Again, thinking about what is the root of this posture. And maybe some movement, maybe stillness feels better today. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And now a deep, deep, deep bend into the knees, stack vertebra on top of vertebra, all the way up into standing, head and neck come up last. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears and place them very carefully down your back. Let's make sure that the blocks are nearby. We'll take a half sun salutation. Inhale, hands high. And then exhale, forward folding. Inhale, lifting, lengthening. Exhale, folding. Inhale, all the way up, reach high. And hands together, heart center. Let's continue to add. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, swan, run it down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Send your right foot back behind you. You can always grab for your blocks if you need them. And lay your right hand on the block or your mat and left hand up to the sky. Let's find that twist. You can always take a half bind, perhaps. And let's breathe into the belly. Nurture this pose. One more. And then unwind yourself and step yourself back, downward facing dog. First one of the practice. So take your time. We've done a little bit of stretching into the back body, but still give yourself a moment to arrive in this posture. Next, inhale, plank, holding plank, firm in the rootedness here, hands in the balls of your feet, scoop your belly, drop your knees to the earth, prepare yourself for Ardha Chaturanga. Open up the heart, shoulder blades down, keep your hips where they are, scrape your rib cage with your elbows all the way down, hands underneath, shoulders, elbows back, baby cobra, highest point. Exhale back, child's curl toes under, lift hips up and back, downward dog. Step forward with your right foot, grab for your blocks, left hand on block, right hand high or half bind. Three full breaths here. After that third breath, unwind yourself. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale energetically this time, all the way up, and hands together, heart center. Keep on adding. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, forward folding. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Let's send the left foot back behind you this time. And from here, we will take a little bit of a runner stretch. You can always drop your knee if that just doesn't feel very good today and kind of work here, straightening out the right knee. But wherever you are, keeping hips square to the front of your mat, and being very conscious of moving with the breath rather than holding your breath. Keep the breath even and balanced in its intensity and its length. Next time we come up to our lunge, placing the blocks aside, step it back, downward dog. Pedaling out. Inhale, plank. Your choice, full or half Chaturanga Dandasana, up into your baby cobra or your upward facing dog. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. Let's give it 3 full deep breaths here. And then your choice about how you get to the top of the mat. Step, hop, or float your way up, top of the mat, standing forward fold. Inhale all the way up, reach high, and then swan dive it back down, all the way down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and fold. We're sending the right foot back behind this time. Find your lunge. And then we're going to take the same flow that we took the last time. Just straightening out and opening up. See if you can stay Neutral in the spine, heart is reaching forward, gaze is aspirational. So if you find yourself sort of really looking at your toes, let's look forward. Let's find the growth. All right, next time we come up to the lunge, let's move the blocks. One more time, we'll step it back, downward facing dog. Let's give it 2 full deep breaths. You can do those breaths in stillness, sucking up that energy from where you find your root. And then stepping forward with the left foot, right foot follows. Standing forward fold, dropping the bum, sitting back into your chair, Utkatasana. So now hands can be here on the hips, engaged through the inner thighs. Might feel good to take a block and place it between your thighs. Keep your belly engaged. Lower ribs knit in, shoulders are loosey-goosey. Hands can be in cactus arms or up ahead. Let's give it 2 more breaths here. Root down through your heels for this last breath. On exhale, take your block aside. And let's hold on to the blocks, step back with your right foot to a lunge. Move your blocks so that they are framing out your left foot. Let's get long in the lunge, and then spider tip fingers onto the blocks. Now you can always drop your knee, flatten out your foot, taking a low crescent lunge. A little bit of a different work here. It's into the hip, opening into the hip. For those of us who are coming into high lunge, we're going to do it slowly. So spider tip fingers, and then find the diagonal. And then once you find that you're here, press into both of your feet and lift your shoulders up over your hips. Hands can be in cactus arms if it's a little straining on the shoulders or down at your hips. Breathe here. Deal with the shaky quakey. All right, hands come down to your blocks. Let's just lift that back foot up off of the earth for standing split. You can move your blocks in forward and take this as a warrior 3 if that feels better in the body. If you're in your standing split, remembering that this is a forward fold. Wherever you are, just dropping your right foot next to the left and find a forward fold. Drop your bum to the earth. Chair posture once again. Whatever arm variation made sense to you. Let's take 2 more deep full breaths. Feel the breath in your belly. On your next exhale, forward folding. This time we'll work our, which one went back? Oh, our left foot back. There we go. Left foot back. Okay, ready? Here we go. So setting yourself up for success and strength here. Knee over the ankle, spider tip fingers. That back leg is like a rudder. Now, diagonal energy. And when you're ready, press into the root. That front foot doing its job. back ball of the foot, and then breathe. All right, we're coming down. So slow and steady. Reach for your blocks. Whatever shape you took on the other side, let's take on this side as well. Standing split or warrior three. In both shapes, the hips stay square. Square to the mat, square to the front of the mat. Lower your left foot next to the right and take yourself a forward fold. Drop your bum, come up through your chair posture, and then hands up and hands together, heart center. Let's add the twist this time. Again, slow and steady is how we're going, all right? So inhale, hands up. Exhale, take a forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Right foot back behind you. Find that high lunge. Again, if you want to drop your knee in these high lunges, you can do so because we can find the same kind of twist. So here we are, spider tip fingers. Diagonal energy. Up through the root. Now let's find that diagonal energy, but bring your hands together, prayer pose. Diagonal energy, long in the side bodies. Now take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. And find that twist. And find some space for that breath. You know you need the diaphragmatic breathing. Let's unwind to the blocks. This time we'll step them aside and step yourself back to your downward facing dog. Pedal out. Observe the differences if there are any in the body. If you like your vinyasa, here's a good place to use it, just as an intermediary between these two sequences. Or you can just stay in your downward dog. Eventually, we all come back to dog. And take a big step forward with the right foot. Frame out the right foot. Get long in that back leg. Really intense in the rootedness of this pose, both feet. Spider tip fingers, diagonal, long in the side body. Now press into the root, up to your high lunge. And we'll take the twist, bringing your hands to heart center. Now find that diagonal energy one more time and take a twist, this time to the right. All right. Let's unwind ourselves, blocks aside, step it back, downward facing dog. Pedal, stillness, vinyasa, should you need it. And then we'll all take our child's pose. And 8 full deep breaths in your child's. If you're feeling a little tweaking your shoulders, hands back behind you, forearms on the earth, palms face up. You can always Continue to work into an opening of the hips. Knees wide, hands out in front. Wherever you are, 6 more full deep breaths. And after that last deep breath, let's come back once more, downward facing dog. Raising your left foot, or let's take it right foot up and back behind, and drawing your knee into your belly, but leave your shoulders and your other foot in the same downward dog. So let's not move the shoulders or anything like that. We'll send your right foot into a twist. So we're just taking the foot through the opening of left side body. Now, for some of us, just this twist is enough of a challenge. If you'd like to take this into fallen star, lifting your left hand up, bring that side body long, and then we'll come down onto the right bum. So now we've got a nice big wide opening in our feet and we're facing the back of the mat. Let's go ahead and bend into the right knee. And we'll take Janu Sirsasana here. So inhaling, hands high, and then twisting your torso so that you're looking at your extended leg. Take a forward fold towards the extended leg. Once again, this is all about the breath. So feel the belly open and contract. Let's give it another full deep breath. And then bringing your right hand back to the top of your mat, left hand also. Come up onto the ball of your left foot, and let's send that right foot back, downward dog split, and lower it to the earth. Find your downward dog. Find that home base. And then let's try those shapes on the other side. Left foot up and back. Without moving your shoulders, bring your knee into your belly through the opening of the right side body, maybe lifting up into your right hand. Let's find that we're raising up into the hips, and then slow and steady, lower yourself down onto your bum. Bend now into your left leg. Hands high, twist towards your extended leg. Folding forward, Janu Sirsasana. Coming all the way back up on inhale. Left hand over to the left side of your mat. Right hand to the right side. Find that downward dog split once again. And down to downward dog. This is your last time for a vinyasa. So should you need it, find your way into plank. And then full or half chaturanga dandasana. Up into your back bend of choice. And exhaling back, downward facing dog. And then let's drop to knees and seat to heels. If this is not comfortable on tops of the feet, please feel free to find any kind of resting seated pose. It could be Sukhasana. But then this one is nice because we allow our quads to open. And sometimes all we need is just a little bit of a boost. So to sit on those two blocks might be a little bit more comfortable. So let's just allow ourselves just that sense of rootedness again. Now the entire lower body seems to be connected to the earth. Once again, just like a pump. Inhales, send that beautiful sap, healing energy all the way up to the crown of the head. And on the way back down, just allowing relaxation, release to come to the upper parts of the body. And let's do a little bit of healing postures in our joints. So find your wrists together and let's roll the wrists around and around. It feels good to let your eyes close and just feel this rather than look at it. And then placing your hands out in front of you, palms facing out, and let's just sort of rotate here through the wrists. And then kind of do like with your fingers, and then let's rotate here through the fingers. And now hands out in T pattern, and then touch your elbows. And then lean forward just a bit, and let's pretend like we're swimming. And then back, stroke. And then shake it all out. Ah, good. There we go. Bye, Meredith. I'll send you a copy. All right, here we go. Let's come all the way down onto the back. Bum into the middle of your mat. Let's make sure that we have a block nearby. We won't need it right now, but we will need it eventually. Now bring your right ankle over your left knee. And then with the magic and the marvelousness of your mind, we're going to make our knee kind of move away from the torso. Flex your right foot. If you don't feel a lot in your hip, you can always go ahead and grab for your left thigh and pull it close to the body. If you'd like a little bit of hamstring work here too, you could send your left foot up to the sky. Wherever we are, let's really think about that rootedness in the sacral spine. So for some of us, we might need to pull the tailbone down a little bit more. Others might feel an imbalance in the pelvis. So just working to mitigate these little things to set ourselves right. And then breathe. 3 more breaths here. Now bending into your left knee, keep that figure 4, hands up in T pattern. Bring your right foot to the left side of your mat. Still in that figure 4, still moving with our mind, the right knee away from us. One more breath here. And then let's come up to center. unwind, give yourself just a snapshot of experience in the body. How do things feel? And then we'll take this to the opposite side. Left ankle on top of right knee. Flex, work, balance. Need more sensation, hold. And then 5 full deep breaths here. Letting go of the bind on the right leg if you have it. Let's bring it down, hands out into T pattern, and then just bringing your left foot to the right side of your mat, still in that figure 4, still working here with kind of an opening here in the hip flexor. Little bit of a twist, shoulder blades stay heavy. And then back up, unwind, feet near the bum. Bring yourself into a supported bridge. So lift your hips and place a block. Just like we place those little stones at the bottom of a pot, right? When we're potting our plants. And then let your sacral spine rest here. Feel supported as you raise your feet up to the sky. And let's come into that diaphragmatic breathing, deep and round. Quiet, smooth, balanced, even, rich and nourishing. So when you're ready to come down, slow and steady, remove the block from underneath you and find your Shavasana, your relaxation pose. Make yourself comfortable here. So if you need a pillow underneath your head, grab for that. If you need a blanket on top of you because of the air conditioning, grab for that. And let's just do a very, very short flow of awareness here. Feel the rootedness of this pose, particularly around your heels. And allow your awareness to gather at the soles of your feet, at your toes. And on your next inhale, sweep that awareness up your body all the way to the crown of the head. Exhaling crown to toes. Inhaling toes to crown. And exhaling crown to toes. Do this another 4 or 5 times. Don't worry about what you can feel or not feel. Just know that there's an innate intelligence to this awareness, sweeping up and down the body with nourishment, with a sense of joy. And then release all effort. Just enjoy the spaciousness of your body and the space in which your body rests. And so a deep, full breath in through the nostrils. Exhale. And before movement comes back into the body, just allow yourself the experience of coming back into the body through the sense of breath. So feel your belly engaging with the breath. And feel the coolness of the breath in the nostrils. Now let some movement come into the extremities, fingers, toes. Move your head carefully slowly side to side. And when you feel ready, roll over onto a favorite side and find your fetal pose for a couple of breaths. Just seedling, pose of new beginnings. And using your hands to press yourself up, make yourself comfortable in a meditative seat. Just one more snapshot of experience. Integrating the wisdom of this past hour. And then gathering the gifts of this practice between the two hands, Anjali Mudra, prayer pose at the heart. Pressing thumb bones deep into breastbone, feel the beat of your own heart, accepting these gifts. And know that they're accessible anytime you need them. To close out our practice, please join me or just listen to the vibrations of one sound of Om. Inhaling deeply. Namaste, dear Monday friends.